Hello guys, boring, sweaty, lazy ass gamer Sven here, bringing you my takes on the draft league is dying topic, and I'm probably coming out of left field a lot, and also I'm not doing this for the views. I'm well aware that all of the other videos have over 100 views. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about views on my channel. I'm playing Draft League because I love playing Draft, and I upload because I don't like playing on Showdown because mainly aesthetic reasons, and also me not able to focus on Showdown because I'm easily distracted by the computer, and not wanting to be a douche turning on the timer because I don't want to wait 5 minutes for you to calc every single move 10 turns in advance every turn. Um, those are just some hyperbolic examples. And also, I did get a little bit fed up with some of the Showdown community ways. I know there are good parts of the Showdown community, there are bad parts. It's the same with Wi-Fi. I just feel like, unfortunately, there's too much bad in the Showdown community with toxicity and elitism, but I'm not gonna touch on that too much because I know there's toxicity and elitism in the Wi-Fi world as well, and it would be hypocritical of me if I wouldn't say I'm a little bit of that, or if I seem like that as if I don't seem like that as well, since I kind of made my league around high performing players. But yeah, to the topic, why Draft League is dying. I don't think Draft League is dying. I just think we're in a slump right now. Uh, it's uh, it's hard to calculate. I think the Showdown. I haven't played in Showdown since, for a year now. I retired, but the Showdown side seems to still be thriving. It's really big. A bunch of leagues going around. Still a lot of activity in the servers. Uh, but the Wi-Fi community, think the VGC side is still okay, and it has grown. It was actually fun to see that VGC draft took off. I'm a VGC player myself from the beginning, but I'm not. I don't really want to play VGC draft because I rather play VGC than. I like draft because it's different from VGC, which is the other format I mainly play in Pokemon. I started out draft in 2015 in the Juarez days, and I first started in a Facebook league with my fellow Swedish VGC players, and we played singles draft, and everyone was terrible, and no one knew what they were doing. And after that, I joined some other Facebook leagues, uh, and then after a while, when Discord became popular, I got on Discord, and then I managed to somehow sneak me into a Draft League hub where a lot of leagues were posted. Even there, the activities, like, it gets less and less, but it was a super good source back in the Ultra Moon, and Sun and Moon days. So I'm really happy for hubs like that to exist, and I hope there's still some out there. The one I'm still in, and where I found my core leagues, it's kind of dead at the moment, but I'm still appreciative of it. Uh, but yeah, that was more of my background. Uh, I think that it's not dying because we're more so in a slump rather than a slump of not too many interested people and not too many new people are finding out about draft. This is not because we're all boring and stuff like that. I'll go to that later. Uh, Of course, it would help if we were super entertaining and we got 10,000 views in each video, but that's not feasible with the subs most of the people have that are doing draft. I still think we're doing fine still at the upload stage. It's hard to get the amount of views people are complaining they're not getting uh, when there's not any big hype around the game that we're playing, because let's face it, like Sword and Shield is 2 years old, and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is pretty new, but like it still has the timer problem that it's 20 minutes timer without LAN. And when I say timer problem, I mean that the in-game timer without LAN workaround is 20 minutes. That's the timer problem, not that the chess timer is bad, because chess timer is great. Uh, and then uh, and then Legends Arceus, of course, no battling with that. And basically, when a new main game drops, people get excited, people buy the game, people watch videos about the game, and they might stumble upon a Draft League video and they find it interesting and they want to try dip their toes into draft. An example of this is LET, a close-knit community, but still open, but super nice guys. Uh, it's commissioned by Eco the Living Planet, good friend of mine, and yeah, that was a close-knit community in the Sun and Moon. I joined in the Sun and Moon days, and then Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. But we were only 12 people in the in the league, and then when Sun and Moon dropped and the games sold very well and the hype around the games were high, when we put out applications for our first Sun and Moon season, we got like 30 applications. It was crazy. So we expanded to 24 teams in two divisions, so a first and a second division. And then after that season concluded, then the uh, Crown, no, not Crown Tundra. Was the Crown Tundra first? The first DLC, I don't remember. No, Crown Tundra was not first. The Isles of Armor. When Isles of Armor were dropped, then we had our second season in the new game, and the hype was still high. People were still playing the game. They loved the Sword and Shield still. We got new mons, and we got over. We got like 40 applicants. So we decided to expand again, 36 teams. Uh, so we did. We went from 12 to 24 to 36, and then we held 36 for the season after that as well, in three divisions. So that was a Wi-Fi league with 36 people. Of those 36, you probably only know about max 5, and I'm one of them. So there are still non-upload Wi-Fi leagues out there, uh, but they did take a big hit. And after the hype of the both DLCs out and the game was not gonna get any more updates, people fell off. People started doing other stuff. They had other games to play. They had life to attend, and people started falling off, and that's just normal. Uh, when you have a game that's 2 years old, a little bit more than 2 years old, people are not going to be as interested in it. And now, when the main focus is on Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and especially now Legends Arceus, but like before it was a Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, uh, that's not going to help us playing Wi-Fi uh, on Sword and Shield, because people want to play the new games. They've already played 1,000 hours of Sword and Shield, and yeah, uh, doesn't matter if you're the most entertaining person in the world or whatever. People want the new games. And unfortunately, with Sword and Shield also came the 20-minute timer in game, which you have to do a LAN play workaround, like a LAN workaround. And this was unfortunately a big hit to the Wi-Fi community as a whole. I think it was a much smaller hit to the upload communities. Yeah, sorry, my headset dies because it doesn't think I'm doing anything because I don't have anything in my ears. Um, well, I think it hit the upload leagues less so than the actual casual Wi-Fi leagues because no one thought it was fun to play 20 minute. They play 20-minute timer and the game doesn't finish. It just leaves you with a sour taste in the mouth and oh, I need to download this stuff on my PC and do this workaround. It's very complicated. Like, without looking into it, it might seem complicated. I don't think it's really that complicated, but I've also done it like over 1,000 times probably because, yeah, I've played too much Draft League, basically. And yeah, so most of the casual, I saw three. I was in three casual Draft Leagues. In Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon that were gonna do Sword and Shield, but because of the timer, they all died. And only a few of the non-upload required leagues did LAN, LET being one of them. And there's certainly multiple casual Wi-Fi leagues still out there. But the problem is that they're not heard of because they're close-knit communities. And I'm still thinking that that part of draft is the one that got hit worst because we still have, like, the content creators still have a small fan base, dedicated one, even if they're toxic towards bad people. I don't think they are. I think no, most comments are not with ill intent, or rather than maybe hindsight is 2020, and when you're watching, then you have all the cards in your hand, and yeah, you know, it's not that hard to figure out what you should and shouldn't have done. So you shouldn't take too much crap out of comments saying that, oh, I think this was the misplay that cost you the game. Because, well, if you watched it in hindsight, you probably also would have found that out. But in the moment, you made a play you did, and I think you should be able to. You're always able to stand behind that. Uh, and sometimes we just make mistakes. Uh, that's it. And the problem is that the non-upload Wi-Fi community and the upload Wi-Fi community is like two different communities because no one in the Wi-Fi community knows about anyone in the no one in the upload community knows about anyone in the non-upload community. And if you try to make the step into the upload community, it's harsh. I tried. Uh, I applied. I managed. I applied to every upload required league I could. Didn't get in anything. In IBL, Brendan had a lot of coaches drop out, and I asked him every time if I could uh, jump in and fill the spot. But the first three times, he decided to go with someone else or reach out to someone else and fill that person in. And on the fourth time, I got the shot. And then that gave me a chance to return the season after. And I wanted to I didn't upload until Sword and Shield because I didn't have to, because there were a lot of non-upload Wi-Fi leaks. But with Sword and Shield, 90% of them disappeared because no, and also I didn't want to play 20-minute timer. So 90%, not 90, 70% of them disappeared, and of the 30% left, 90% of them did 20-minute timer instead of LAN play. So I decided to become a content creator because I wanted to play Draft League, and I wanted to play on Wi-Fi because that's how I enjoy playing Pokemon. But then trying to shoehorn me into the Draft League, the upload community was really hard. And when I got that spot in IBL, I started to apply to leagues. Every single league I found an application to, I applied to, got turned down multiple times, all the time until I managed to, the season after IBL, I managed to win it again. Not again, managed to win it. And then I also somehow managed to win PBL, which was semi-upload required. And then finally, when I had 2 upload required league championships, then I started to get accepted into leagues. Not because I still had only like 18 subscribers. Not because of my subscriber count, but because I had merits now. Merits that were not Hula Baloo. And Hula Baloo, that's the non-upload leagues because no one knew about it. And that's still a problem today. The non-upload leagues are not talked about at all, almost, and almost people forget about them on Wi-Fi when we're in this community, and we only focus on the upload community. Uh, but I think we need to go together, and also the VGC community. I have not interacted with you a lot, like VGC draft community, but I have a feeling that you're still going strong. And good job. Kudos to that. Uh, what I'm where I'm going with this is that also Showdown really strong. Still super big player base, but the problem and the thing where I'm going with this is that we have a draft community, but the draft community is separated into like 4. Yeah, I would say 4 different communities: the non-upload Wi-Fi, the upload Wi-Fi, the VGC Wi-Fi, and the Showdown. And of those, the 2 biggest, I would say, hardest communities to get into and get recognition and able to play. I think it's easy to play in Showdown because there are so many leagues, but like still, if you want to play in a certain league, I think the Wi-Fi upload and the Showdown community are the worst because those are the 2 communities with the biggest elitism and also uh, thinking that you're better than the average Joe, and if you're a nobody, you have a hard time getting into them. That's just my experience. Whereas the VGC community, I can't talk too much about because I haven't interacted with them. But the close-knit Wi-Fi community usually welcomes you with open arms. There's just a lot of chit chat in the league, and people are there just being friends, you know. Whereas in the upload, there's a couple friend groups and people don't really branch out. And also, why a lot of criticism has been that it's dying because we are boring and we're try hard. The people who are playing, and that it's the same people playing in every league. Yeah, we might be boring, but not all of us are set out to be the next big content creator. I'm not trying that, but I love Draft League, and I'm doing my best to try and keep it alive. I know I'm boring, probably the most boring person to watch, but I just hope that I'm informative, but I'm not even that. Sometimes I even forget to speak for an entire game because I'm focusing. But yeah, I hope my plays at times speak for themselves then, but I'm just a bad commentator basically. But yeah, I started because I wanted to play Draft League. and I didn't want to play Showdown. So having said that, should I then not be in leagues because I'm boring and that would hurt new people trying to play? What kind of what kind of thing tone does that set for the new players? Like, oh, we can only have entertaining people doing upload leagues, and or oh, you have to be entertaining to play, and etc. etc. Uh, sure, there's good that people are entertaining and bring new people in, but I also think there's a place for boring players that play because we like the game. We're boring because we probably don't want to. If we could, we didn't want to upload. But it's has unfortunately become a necessity, and yeah, I'm trying to give back to the community as well. I feel like even if I'm boring, I'm trying to show off what you could do, or I'm also usually harsh on myself saying when I do a misplay because it's good to recognize that sometimes you do misplays, and also hacks. Don't be get too upset. I have my moments. Everyone has their moments where they boil over, but try not to. This is gonna be a too long video if I keep rambling. Uh, and the suggested solutions with like commentating, etc. I think it's a nice twist, but I don't think it will shake the ground, so to say, because I think the main problem is with people not being hyped for Sword and Shield, basically. Uh, I have created a server or league, the PAC, the Pokemon All-Star Competition. My goal was to have one upload league to advertise the entire server, and that upload league is invite based on your uh, skill level, which is based on the CCS. I know CCS is not super accurate, but it was the only metric I had to go on. First season was successful, and then I used that to get people into the server, and when people were in the server, I hosted a bunch of side leagues. I think I've hosted 8 different seasons of side leagues, and we're going again, both Showdown and Wi-Fi. I want it to be a hub where all the communities can unite. And there's only one upload required league. All the rest are not upload required. You can upload if you want to. No one kills you if you do, you know. But a place where anyone can play Pokemon than the metagame they want, because I run different metagames. Uh, and I'm trying to. I'm not a good owner, and I'm not a good chatter. I'm terrible at being active, and I'm the worst. I have the worst humor ever. I type random shit, and I just seem like a goofball, and I can't make a good conversation. So the server feeling is like, oh wow, it seems just like a hub for a lot of leagues, but my goal for it was different, and I'm sorry that it didn't turn out that way, but I'm still not giving up on the server itself, and I'm gonna start with having the VGC draft league as well this time around, because I feel like we need to unite. I'll have a link to that in the description and to pack, and also because we're hosting uh, side leagues very soon. Applications will be out. So if you want to join the league in Wi-Fi or Showdown, just check it out and join. And then when the application comes out, sign up. And yeah, don't be scared. Uh, then there's also uh, what was I supposed to say? Yeah, there's a bunch of different uh, videos on this topic. I'm gonna link them all. DrSlaking's original one, and then I think I know of 6 or 7 responses. So I'll link all those in the description if you want to have their takes. But yeah, I think Draft League is not dying, and I think innovation, it's nice, but I don't think that's needed to get back to historic levels. It might be good to decelerate the fall, but we're gonna have another surge once the next mainline games are dropped, and we hopefully get a timer where it's not 20 minutes timer, or a game where we at least have a workaround that's not as hard, or not hard, as much work to do for the person to play, because having to have a computer uh, by your side every time you play is kind of horrible, unfortunately, for a lot of people. And yeah, I'm thinking that I'm about done with what I wanted to say. It was a little bit too rambly. I don't even know if I said everything I wanted to say. I just think that it feels like it's dying because we don't know about the other communities. And also, Showdown and Wi-Fi people need to get off each other's necks. Because the Wi-Fi people feel like, oh, we're on average better than the Showdown community, and the Showdown community thinks they're on average better. And that anyone from the Wi-Fi side is trash and, I don't know, not good enough to play on Showdown. But yeah, that was just that was unnecessary to say. But I don't know. There's always been this dislike for the other community, and I feel like we should just go together. We should maybe try to do a some sort of some kind of what were events together where we have both Showdown and Wi-Fi profiles going up together with the VGC draft profiles and some of the leaders of the tight-knit regular Wi-Fi community. All I'm saying is that Draft League is still going to be alive. I don't think it will ever die unless Pokemon doesn't bring us new games ever again. And even then, I think it's still going to be some people around playing it. Another thing I wanted to say is that the golden age of Draft League was still like 5 years ago, and a lot of the people that started out playing Draft League back then were like 15, 14. You know, a lot of people are that age when they watch those videos. And then they get older, school gets more serious, they get jobs, they maybe start university, get a girlfriend, or whatever, and then they don't have time for Pokemon. It is common. And even though the big content creators would bring new eyes to draft, I don't think it's necessary for our survival. Uh, Also, I'm happy to help anyone commentate, as long as I can have reasonable in advance warning. If people want to do things like the TVL, uh, I I have commentated both Pokemon and a couple other esports in Swedish, but not like seriously like super big scale, but on conventions. So I I'm gonna end on the note that I'm also happy for anyone to join the pack server, and if anyone's never played draft and is afraid. Also, my biggest thing is why we have the same coaches. I almost forgot this in every upload league. It's because one, people are afraid to apply. People don't look for applications. When I got into the scene, I applied to everything. Everything, everything, everything. And you need to do that because there's a big chance you're not getting selected because of merits and such. But that's life. That's just like a job interview. But if you apply to enough things for upload required, if you want to do upload required, then you will eventually get the chance. And also, you can start out in non-upload required leagues or showdown leagues to get uh, something under your belt to show for, just like building a CV. Uh, you can't really expect to, oh, I've never played a draft before, and then I want my first league want to be this big shot league upload required. You have to start somewhere as well, but I'm not saying that you can't start like that. I'm just saying it's unlikely. Like how likely are you to get a super good job like immediately after high school? Whereas after you've worked a couple of jobs, then you're more likely because you have. And yeah, like your first league, it could be Showdown. It's easily accessible. I think that's good about Showdown. I don't like Showdown because, yeah, as I said, sometimes people just take a million years to calc everything, and then there's also some people just commenting and in the yeah, I should mute the chat, but like people commenting throughout the battle, like half giving hints at times, like it's weird. And then if you lose hard, you get wheel shared and yeah, laughed at. Like, don't laugh at people. Like, we need to build up the new people, not laugh at them. Like, oh, I'm playing someone who's never played before, and I'm just rolling them with a mon that's just yeah, that's broken, and they don't know about it. Yeah, don't thrash the other player. But don't also like say how badly I thrashed that player. Like give them some tips instead, like how to improve. Uh, Ask if they need help with prepping. I can help people prep. I'm in a couple of uh, uh, front offices already. Yeah, I will gladly help people prep. But I also think that the best players they are able to mainly build uh, themselves because then you know what the team is supposed to do more so than listening blindly to a front office. I'm not saying everyone does that, but I mean, you need to know if the team that's built suits you or not, because you can have the greatest team built, but it doesn't suit you. Uh, and then I don't think you'll have as big of success. But also, yeah, I'm just rambling. I'm gonna cut here. If you want to unsubscribe, do that. I don't give a fuck. I lost 2 subscribers because I accidentally said some stupid stuff in my latest video. I did apologize for it in the end. Then I talked to D-Ray as well, and he was fine with it, and I said sorry. But yeah, I just say I'm gonna upload as long as I'm allowed to go in upload leagues, and I'm going to play as well as long as I'm allowed because I love playing draft league. It's my main hobby right now because I have no life, I guess. Well, yeah. So that's all. 35 minutes. I'm so bad at this. Sven's out.